Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Sorry, couldn't film anything yesterday night. When I got here it was so dark and there was no use to film. I just set up my tent, made my dinner and went to bed. Now got a chance to speak to you. I thought to speak about my Jeep, not specifically my Jeep but overall Jeep Cherokee XJ. I'll be splitting this video into three parts, the pros and cons of Jeep Cherokee, which I think there are lots of videos on YouTube, but I'll be showing you my perspective. So I'll be splitting this video into three parts, the pros and cons and the tour of my Jeep. Let's start with the pros, and the very first thing for me is the price tag. This Jeep takes you anywhere you want to without breaking your bank. Like, I'm not talking about the Jeep Wrangler or the Land Cruisers with the good suspensions or bad suspensions, good four-wheel, bad four-wheel. Yes, I was struggling with Ford Explorer, which I got earlier, and that was 2010 model, and that Jeep, that car was in lack of power. It was not taking me to the the most extremely difficult trails, and especially in the desert. Like, it was getting stuck all the times in the desert. I don't know why. Despite switching on the four wheels and on the full power, but this Jeep, it takes me to the most difficult mountain trails and in the desert, anywhere wherever I want to. At the moment, I think if I show you, like I'll be showing you in the B-rolls, that I'm quite high from the ground level. I'm high on the dunes, and this Jeep easily comes there. So for me, the price tag, this Jeep I purchased in only in 8,000 dirhams, and then 8,000 dirhams I'll be converting them to in US dollars, and I'll put the price in US dollars on the screen. So yes, I spent some money on it because it's a 2000 model and it's a 22 years old car. So I had to put some money on it to keep going. And now this Jeep is fully functional and ready. I'll also be showing that what I have modified or what I have changed. So for me, the price is super important because I was not able to afford the Jeep Wrangler, which is 200,000 dirhams, or the Land Cruiser. So I had to put some money on it. I bought it in 8,000 dirhams, and I spent like around 5,000 dirhams on it to make it fully functional and make it ready for the hard trails. So for me, the price is the main thing, only in 8,000 dirhams, or if I calculate in total, that would be like 13,000 dirhams. Again, I'll be giving you the estimated price in the US dollars on the screen. The second thing is the capability. The capability is that it does not stuck even in the mud, in the desert, wherever you want to take it. You can blindly you can trust on this Jeep. I won't lie that this car doesn't really stuck. Yes, I got stuck 2 times, but believe me, without calling any help, I was able to pull this Jeep out. But that happened just because that I don't deflate the tires. Can you imagine this? I'm taking this Jeep into the desert and I don't deflate the tires because I know this car is super powerful, and it does not require to all the times to deflate the tires. But I'm not saying that you should not. You should while you are getting into the very soft sand. Even I do deflate the tires when I'm getting into the very soft sand, and whenever I see that the road is very bumpy. Yes, I deflate the tires, and I do have air compressor with me all the time, so and nothing to be worried about it. So this car does not stuck, or if gets stuck, you will be able to pull it out if you have some basic skills of off-roading or driving into the desert. But driving the car does not really mean that you have skills to drive in the desert. You need to consult with the experts or the professionals who drive in the desert, because the driving in desert is total different thing. If you don't have any experience of driving in the desert, no matter which car you have, you will get stuck. So the stucking part of this car does not very often get stuck in the desert or mud. So for me, that is another point where this made me thinking, okay, I should go for the Jeep Cherokee XJ. Now actually I have noted these bullet points in my phone. The third one is yes, high ground clearance. I'll be showing you in the B-rolls. This car is quite high. We have some places, in UAE, whenever there's this heavy rain, yes, there is some water, but without being worried, like I passed through deep waters, and whenever I go into the desert, especially in the Ras Al Khaimah or the Fujairah mountains, I am no longer worried that how big the rocks underneath, because this car does not hit underneath, because it's already very high. My wife also makes complaint to me because it's not very easy to get on and off the car, because she thinks that this car is very high, and she struggles to get on the car. The other complaint she makes, but that will be in the cons of this video, and I'll be mentioning that at the end of this video. So the high ground clearance, if you drive in the mountains and with the big rocks, or if you want to cross the rivers, so this is the car to go with. There are lots of companies who make the uplifting kits of this Jeep, but when I got it, it was already lifted up, so I didn't do anything. That's enough for me, because we don't have rivers here, and we don't have those very harsh or big rocks here. So for me, the ground clearance is enough, but I love this ground clearance. I'm not worried hitting anything underneath of this Jeep, because it's already high. So the very first thing is the price. You can take this Jeep anywhere in only spending like around 10,000 or 12,000 dirhams. Stucking it, that doesn't get stuck. If it gets stuck, you'll be able to pull it out if you have some basic skills. High ground clearance, and the fourth number is design and simplicity. Okay, this is a boxy style a car, and it gives you the real feel of an off-road car. I'm not sure that why Toyota has relaunched its 70 series of the Land Cruiser again. What I personally believe, that is because of the the boxy style. They have released 70s series Land Cruiser again. Even I was surprised to see that how old this car again, and this looks like very like brand new. And when I looked inside the car, and I saw that completely different interior, and with new the Bluetooth system and cruise control and things, because those things were not there in in 70s. So this Jeep has got the look of that 70s Land Cruiser Wrangler look, and it shows that yes, it's an off-road car. The design, I like it. I personally don't like the round shapes, the fronts and the backs of the SUVs. I like this boxy style Jeep, by the way. I don't know why. The other thing is that yes, I used to work for HBO for a couple of years, I think 6 years, and the slogan of HBO is the simple is the best. This car, any mechanic in the UAE can repair this car, because it doesn't have tons of the computer programming and things like that. So there's not much computer things here in this car. I'm not super expert in the technical parts, but what I felt that yes, any mechanic with the basic skills or intermediate skills can repair this car, because it's when you open the hood, everything is open in front of you, and there is nothing complicated in this car, what I believe and what my experience is. Yeah, so the design and simplicity, that is another pro for me. On number 5th is bumper and solid body. Okay, yes. The bumpers and solid body, I will share personal experience with you first. In Dubai, it happens quite often that someone comes, and if someone is reversing his or her car, so they might hit your bumper while this car is in the parking. Fortunately, I do have the covered parking, and my car stays in the covered parking, but someone hit my car from the back side, but there was the pulling what do you call it, hitch. Sorry if I am pronouncing it wrong, but anyways, I will be showing you the B-rolls of it, so you will be able to get that idea. I am not super expert. So yes, when I got hit from the back, nothing happened to my car. Even the bumper of that gentleman was completely gone. Yeah, so this is for me, the solid body is a pro. Like I don't need to spend extra money every year to fix my bumpers, because in the front and the rear bumper both they are steel or with the hard metal. I don't know what's the metal, aluminum or steel or whatever. So the front bumper and the rear bumper both they are steel, super solid. This is number one. The second thing is that you can see that I didn't put any extra crossbars on my roof. Those roof rails were enough for me to put my things on, like for example the plywood and the what do you call it, the rack and the mounts. So I'll be giving you the tour of the Jeep and then I'll explain to you that how I did it. So the Jeep has got very solid and strong body. Another incident what happened to me is that someone was coming out of his parking, and he hit my rear tire. And when I got down, I saw the car, nothing happened to me. Again, the bumper of that gentleman was gone. And both times it was the bumper of the opposite party which was completely gone. So the body is super solid. The bumpers, I especially like the bumpers. The people, they install the customized bumpers, but I don't want to spend extra money to get those customized bumpers when you already have the very solid bumpers. And I'm not going to do off-roading like every day. Because I'm not traveling full time on my Jeep, so this is fine, because most of the time I am on road, and on road I don't need those type of modifications. But if that is needed, yes, I will do them in the future. Okay, bumper and solid body. So number 6, hey, don't do no, I'm filming. He loves digging, and whenever he comes in the desert, so all the deserts around the surroundings, like you will see the big digging holes. Last but not least, I don't get yeah okay, if you live in the UAE or anywhere in the world, after doing some modification, if you're lifting this Jeep up, or if you're having an off-road tires, I am having all-terrain tires 80, I don't get fines. I don't get fines at all. And why I don't get fines? Because this car vibrates whenever I cross 100. I always drive 100 kilometers per hour, and most of the roads in Dubai, the speed limit on the highways, that is 120, which I am in the safe side, I don't drive this car 100 plus, so I don't get fines. Whenever I go for the renewal, even the renewal of this car is due this month, I don't have to pay any single penny on the cameras, I mean on the radars, because I don't overspeed this car. Even this car doesn't go more than 100. It goes more than 100, but it vibrates. That is because of the tires and lifting this Jeep up. I'm sorry. So I don't get fines on this car. There is no single fine in the entire year. I drove this car every day, but I didn't get a single fine in this year, which is a big advantage for me having this car. I was having so much fines when I was driving Honda Civic, because you never know that when your car crosses like 120 or 100, because those cars are super speedy, and this car is more like off-road car, so that does not go more than 100. If you push it hard, it will give you a feel that your car is vibrating. So these are the let me summarize them. The very first thing is why I got this car is price. You'll never get any off-road car in this price, which will take you to anywhere, wherever you want to. Okay, it does not get stuck. High ground clearance, design and simplicity, bumpers and solid body, and I don't get fines. So these are the 6 pros with me on this car. Now let's come to the cons. For me, there is only one. it's a 22 years old car, and that makes sense. If you go, if you drive this car very crazy, if you take it to very extremely difficult trails, you might break something, and that can happen to any car. Like even if you get a, the new model of 2023, you might get this problem if you get to the very extremely, difficult trails. Yes, these cars, they actually they are. This is a North American car. The logo shows me that this came from Canada. But those cars are not for the summer. This is number one. Second is that you should be ready to spend like some money, like twice a year or quarterly, because you might face some problems like this Jeep frequently goes to mechanic, which is a very bad thing. That is because of that this car is 22 years old, and that car was completely used for off-roading. That could be the reason. The second reason is that the spare parts of this Jeep, because what I heard about from the experts who drive this Jeep, that the seals are not good enough to tackle the heat of this car, because they are American cars and they get hot very quickly. This is what I would say. So because of that heat, the seals underneath those get spoiled or break. So I think that is the reason that the leakage in these cars are common. So that is you can say that it's a big con for me, by the way, because I don't want to spend every weekend in the garage. So this is the only con to me, that if you don't take it to a very extremely difficult trains, so you might be in a good position. But if you are regular off-roader, and if you take this Jeep regular into the desert, into the mountains, so you should be ready to spend some money frequently, time to time, on this car. For me personally, when I got this car, I spent only 5,000 dirhams. Until then, I didn't spend anything on it. Recently, my AC, the front ventilators, they stopped working, and when I took it to the mechanic, and he told me that the motor of the front ventilator is gone. So for me, the big con is that yes, you need to spend some money on this type of Jeep, like time to time, to keep it going. So those are the pros and cons from my side on this Jeep. Now I'll be giving you a tour of it, and I'll be showing you that what I have modified on it, or what I changed, and how did I set up my kitchen things and the rooftop. Basically, in Dubai desert, there's lots of snakes. So that is the reason that I installed, what do you call it, a waterproof plywood on it, and then I put my tent on it, and it's a very simple setup, and I got a telescopic ladder as well. Okay, so this is the ground clearance. I think that is from the ground it is 1.5 feet. So basically that's a cover. It's a cover because this bumper ends here. It does not connect with these fenders, so this bumper ends here, and this is plastic. But the bumper, what do you see, it's a steel one. It's a super solid bumper. And yes, when I got 31s, because I'm driving 31s 80, and that was hitting the fender, so I removed this part from here, and I pulled this fender a little back to give enough space to the tire, because the tire was hitting the fender earlier. It's a company paint. If you see that those lines from the company, those are still here. So that is an original paint. I didn't paint this car, which I'll be doing it in the near future. That's a okay. Here is the rear bumper, that is steel, and this is the what do you call it, hitching, or I don't know. If let me show you on the roof. That's a completely my customized design. I have not seen anything like this on the YouTube. That's completely my things. Here I am having a U-bolts. Okay, in these U-bolts, if you see on the top, I have screwed them with this the bolts and nuts. So that's a waterproof ply, and I got it bordered with this aluminum frame, and then I made this customized brackets, and I got it installed, and I took it to the welder and told him, okay, this is the concept that I am having a plywood on it, and I want a security border around, and but I don't want it super high because I should not hit that the signs in the parking. So I got this protection because I sleep on the rooftop, so I wanted to secure myself. And those are sitting on the the company crossbars. I did not install any extra crossbars on it or the customized one, but I actually am not super heavy. My weight is around like 60 to 65 kg, so for me it's more than enough because I'm the only one who's sleeping on the rooftop. Okay, and here is my telescopic ladder. If you see it, here is my telescopic ladder. My chair is still there, by the way. Okay, and now I'll be showing you the things inside. Okay, let me first show you this guy seat. Hey, he's sitting there. Hey, come here. Good boy. We're not going. Stay there. Okay, here is this seat where again the plywoods. I removed the basically the rear seat, and I requested my wife to cover his mattress because I don't want his hairs to get stuck in the mattress. So it's very easy for me to remove this mattress and just remove the hairs, because on this fabric the hairs they don't get stick. Actually I was leaving earlier, and then I thought to film and give a tour of Jeep, because I don't. So I cover up everything here with this the old bed sheet, because when Sheru sits here that the German Shepherd, they shed a lot. So just to protect my groceries, my kitchen stuff, I cover it up. Here is okay, let me go one by one and show you. Okay, let's put it this way. That is my kitchen table. I'll be showing you in the B-roll, so I'm sorry if I'm covering your screen. In this bag, just for a further protection, I keep my all eating stuff like fruit, the things which I cook on site, on the campsite. I keep everything here in this bag. That's a compressor wire, and here is my kitchen setup. Okay, this is it's not very good sliding table, but I installed. I'll be showing you in the B-roll. I installed this aluminum U-shape. By the way, this entire engineering is done by me, so I'm not saying that it's completely flawless. Yes, there are some flaws, because this does not slide very easily inside, again, because I kept 2 milli space from each side to give it more space. Okay, so here is my griddle, and this griddle goes here. Okay, I'll have to. So if you see it here, this griddle, it's not a proper griddle. Actually I was looking for something where I can weld the screws, because those concepts are completely customized and different concepts, and those things are not available anywhere on the YouTube. So these are completely my engineering. That's the reason I'm saying that it's completely not flawless. There are many flaws which I'll be changing them time to time. So here is my cooking cooking griddle, and here is my fire pit, because when you come in the desert, the sand, you need to protect your things from the sand. Here I got my logo. I think I have not shown this thing before. Yeah. So here is I don't know whether you are able to see it or not. So here is my customized, my engineered, my way designed fire pit. What I do here, I protect it from the wind like this. So that is how I protect it from the wind. Here is my stove. It's Korean brand Omega 1. So this stove goes under the griddle. Let me show you. Okay, so here is my cooking table, this griddle, stove, and the canister is I think it's there. Yeah, here is the canister. Okay, so I put this canister here. That's the canister, stove, and my griddle. And what you see here, the compartments, there are two compartments. I slide this table back, and then I put some extra stuff on this white table, and this is exactly measured as per the size of my table. I mean this compartment. And then there are two chairs which go on the table, and my, of course, telescopic ladder. Here are things. Yes, here is the puncture kit, because I'm not carrying a spare tire with this car. There is no space to put the spare tire on it, since I'm having all-terrain tires, so they don't get punctured very often. That is the jack, that is jumpers, that is what do you call it, instant battery jumper, how would you say it? Yes, instant battery jumper. Those are my terms, by the way. Here is my mattress. That's my tent. I am having Australia tent. I'm having this Australia tent. It's a 2-person tent, and that fits perfectly on my rooftop. So that is very simple setup. The rooftop tent is there. The kitchen setup is here, and I keep my things like the groceries or whatever, the fruits or things here in this bag. Still I have enough storage to put things on. The reason of having this tables or shelf, or what do you call it, basically there is no name of these things, because I personally did them. So basically I made this for my Ford Explorer, and that video is also available on my YouTube channel. I think it's SUV camper conversion. I did it on my own, and then when I sold that car, I shifted that back in the rear part of that bed here. So now it is giving me enough space to put things underneath and on the top as well. So I do have enough storage, and since we are only two, my wife and myself, so we have enough space for us, and meanwhile to store things while we are in the desert or in the mountains. I go often for camping, but not all the times where I get a chance to film. That is sometimes it's you can say that the laziness, which I apologize for. And sometimes when I get here it was dark, as yesterday night as I got here it was dark. So I'm winding up this video. If you have any question about Jeep Cherokee XJ, And if you have any question about my setup what I have here, so do let me know in the comment sections, and I will try to answer your questions if I have the answer. If not, then obviously the Google is big boss. So here was my campsite. By the way, let me tell you something. This Jeep was not parked here because this Jeep was parked here on a flat surface when I was sleeping. You will not be able to sleep if your Jeep or if your car, if your SUV is parked uneven or unbalanced. It has to be balanced to sleep well. Hey, come here. Go.